Hi, Haneesh. Hope you're doing well, and thank you for accepting our invitation to be a part of our Next Gen Entrepreneurs Beyond Dream series. And today we are joined in by Haneesh. He's the CEO of Himalayan Hemp Industries, and Himalayan Hemp is founded in 2018, and they promote a smart organic farming, innovation integration, and also a fair economic model by utilizing and preserving indigenous Himalayan hemp strain, and also they're focused on a community model in which they provide a home equity based hemp family culture, and also their industrial and ancient medicinal practices are very interesting to know. So let's ask from him itself, Hanish. So Hanish, thank you for joining with us today, and also we'd like to hear more from you about yourself. And when we were searching, we saw that you're an engineer, writer, agropreneur, multiple facets of you have the skill set and everything. So please give a brief intro about yourself and what was the idea of initiating Himalayan Hemp, and yes, your entrepreneurship journey itself, please.
Right. So, thank you, Mayuri, for giving me this platform to speak in Next for this opportunity. So, I would like to start it by giving a brief intro about myself. My name is Haneesh Katnawar, and I come from Himachal Pradesh, which is a mountain area, and most of us know Himachal Pradesh for it being a tourist destination, and many people come here to explore many different ways to
Yes.
find themselves. They come here. So
Mm-hmm.
here I actually went out from here to look for a different kind of a journey, and I
Mm-hmm.
landed up in Gujarat, where I completed my bachelor's of engineering in production engineering, and that's where I
Mm-hmm.
learned how to become an entrepreneur and how to do business eventually. Because people in mountains or Himachal, they are mostly based into farming or government jobs, or
Okay.
they are not really into the business side of it. So
Mm-hmm.
that's where I learned it. And also I learned my co-founder Sonam Soda over there. She was
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be in this interview, but
Okay.
unfortunately she's not well, so she could not join. So
Mm-hmm.
she comes from Kutch, which is another untouched part of Gujarat as well. So
Mm-hmm.
when since we both had a knack for
Mm-hmm.
travel, so we came back to
Okay.
Himachal,
Mm-hmm.
and we started traveling, and that's where we
Mm-hmm.
met a lot of farmers. And while meeting
Okay.
those farmers and artisans, we came to know that their condition was not really that well in
Mm-hmm.
terms of now this is where cannabis and hemp plant comes
Okay.
into the picture,
Mm-hmm.
because in Himachal and Uttarakhand, these states are majorly known for their
Okay.
cultivation of cannabis, and a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people get behind the bars because cannabis and hemp is legal in a lot of
Okay.
states. So what happens here is that we found them in a kind of a situation where they could not help themselves,
Mm-hmm.
because in high altitudes, if you see, it's
Mm-hmm.
not possible to grow other crops. So that's why there was this century-old tradition of growing cannabis, and then it used to be a
Okay.
part of the Silk Road. Like Silk Road,
Mm-hmm.
it was an ancient road from Tibet to Afghanistan, where
Okay.
salt traders from Tibet used to come. They used to meet people in
Mm-hmm.
Himachal and other parts of the mountains and go to
Okay.
Afghanistan, and that's how it was a major trade commodity. So
Mm-hmm.
what happens is, after NDPS was launched,
Mm-hmm.
those people they still kept doing the business, but eventually cannabis was illegal. So it just fell
Yes.
into the criminal category, and we
Okay.
felt that
Okay.
it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't fair to the local people, because
True.
if we are
Mm-hmm.
doing some kind of a change in the law, we should
Mm-hmm.
also do this
Mm-hmm.
population assessment, like whether people are dependent upon it or not in terms of their economic means.
Yes.
So,
Mm-hmm.
and also when we spoke with the government was not much in favor of regulating it,
Mm-hmm.
because they felt that people were already misusing it. So they come up with the
Mm-hmm.
policy related to it, they felt that it will again fall into the misuse category. that
Okay.
is where that
Mm-hmm.
is where Sonam had this idea of making sanitary pads with the hemp. And I
Okay.
was also
Mm-hmm.
quite amazed with this, because this
Mm-hmm.
meant that we were going in a different kind of a direction, where
Yes.
where
Mm-hmm.
we we what do you say, we showcase the plant not as
Mhm.
a just for recreational purposes or smoking
Yes.
purposes like people normally use it, but for
Mm-hmm.
different kinds of purposes which can also
Yeah.
have a
Mm-hmm.
social impact, and people will have a different purview about it. And
Mm-hmm.
that's where we felt for it. And the second reason for starting Himalayan Hemp was that in 2017
Mm-hmm.
Uttarakhand was the only state which came up with the hemp based policy. Like so,
Okay.
like for example, if you are in Uttarakhand
Mm-hmm.
and if you have a land on lease or ownership, then you can
Mm-hmm.
take a license and you can cultivate hemp over there. But it should be
Okay.
less than 0.3% THC. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
0.3% THC is a substance which gets you high when you consume cannabis
Okay.
plant. So
Okay.
it should be
Okay.
limited to
Mm-hmm.
0.3%, and it should be imported from foreign countries. So
Okay. Mm-hmm.
we since we come from this area, so we felt that the local plant was already much more useful. So if we
Mm-hmm.
bring in the foreign variety from outside, it would just affect the local biodiversity, and we are never
Yes.
sure. Just like what happened during green
Mm-hmm.
revolution brought in the seeds.
Yes.
It also
Mm-hmm.
brought in a lot of other kind of plants with it,
Yeah.
which really hampered the farmer situation. So we
Weeds
don't
and
really
all.
trust.
Yeah. Yes. A lot
Yeah,
of
like
weeds still we are not able to, get rid of, and we have a
get
lot
rid
of.
of, like
Mm-hmm.
very famous one is Congressy booty. If I give you that example,
Yes.
like it's called Congressy booty because it
Mm-hmm.
happened in their tenure, ironically. But
Okay.
that booty is still one of the major problems in our area also.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we don't really trust, and when it comes to foreign seeds, and we are very
Okay.
satisfied with what grows around us. So
Okay.
to
Mm-hmm.
counter that, we felt that we should name our organization only as Himalayan Hemp, and we
Okay.
should come up with
Okay.
eco-conscious products like sanitary
Mm-hmm.
pads, so that it creates a different kind of an impact. And
Mm-hmm.
that was the motivation for me and Sonam to start this journey to create
Yeah.
Himalayan Hemp.
That's actually quite amazing, and also like having that as a base material for a different health and hygiene product. I'm really surprised that idea clicked on, and it initiated your idea of a hemp indigenous of crop promotion and more. So really interesting, and I'm sure that it would been very rewarding experience for you, the whole journey. And also, like, to just start with, like, you mentioned a lot of initial glimpses, like, how you went and you knew what the problem which is the farmers are facing, and also how you came up with the idea. So thank you for sharing all those. And what were your initial challenges? So you both were like, colleagues, and you started as friends, peer group together. And what was the initial challenge, like, where the people, the farmers were ready to get your idea, they were ready to engage with you, or how it all worked out, and also coming to the
Yes.
base, initial initiation of a startup is always like funding, and you should have proper team together. So how your startup works, and if you could just throw some limelight on it, please.
Yeah. So initial challenges that we faced was
Mhm.
actually, people laughing on us for doing something
Oh,
like this. Like for
okay.
example, whenever we used to tell people like we make sanitary pads by using
Mm-hmm.
cannabis or hemp, they just used to
Mm-hmm.
find it unbelievable, because they just so that gave us an idea that they
Okay.
just understand the plant like that. And
True.
sometimes they
Mm-hmm.
used to feel that we are just just throwing this information away, like something like that, just
Okay.
some
Naam ki
fake
was
kind of a
just,
story.
yeah.
Just for the sake of it, not
Yeah.
in
Mm-hmm.
actuality.
Mm-hmm.
And even when we spoke with the government, we showed them the products, and government
Mm-hmm.
had some idea, because already
Okay.
there was a lot of talk about it. Like Canada
Mm-hmm.
had made it like legal, like recreationally as well, and Uruguay had made it
Mm-hmm.
possible. It was possible in different states of the United States.
Yes.
Recently, Thailand has done it. Like
Yeah,
they
medical
have
cannabis is
legalized
kind
it.
of medical cannabis is a trend in healthcare. Now it's
Yes, yes.
blooming out as a very big trend. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes. Even United Nations also took
Mm-hmm.
cannabis out of the scheduled food drug, and
Okay.
it is like possible to.
Mm-hmm.
It's not very hardcore kind of a narcotic now.
Okay. Okay.
So the thing is, so these were like some of the initial challenges that farmers were not coming on board, because
Mm-hmm.
the real reason being, now
Mm-hmm.
people in Himachal are involved in illicit trade of it. Like
Okay.
majority of them,
Mm-hmm.
90% of them, I will say, like in the higher altitudes, and
Okay.
we don't blame them for it because if nothing
Mm-hmm.
else grows over there, you need something to feed
Mm-hmm.
your family. You need something to keep it going. So it's
Yes.
not like
Mm-hmm.
they're earning, as much as a diamond merchant would be earning or a businessman would be earning, but they're
Yes.
earning sufficient to keep their houses running. But the
Yes.
thing is that this model is not workable for them because government has
Mm-hmm.
still kept it illegal. So both are
Okay.
at a tussle situation,
Mm-hmm.
and only set of beating it is from the mafia, which makes it happen
Yes.
because for the
Yes. Black
benefits,
market and yeah,
black market,
under the
exactly.
blanket.
So
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
under the blanket of it. So even when a farmer, like say a local farmer, is
Mm-hmm.
working for mafia in a way, they just
Mm-hmm.
get the morsels of it. I mean, mafia will
Okay.
be black market will be making 1,000 rupees, where farmer
Yes.
just be making 20 rupees, and
Share
risking
is
all,
yes.
yeah,
Share is
risking
still
all the.
less. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. So that's why we thought that we need to come up with something which has an impact in a very different way. So that's
Mm-hmm.
why when we, got into sanitary pads, and when we
Mm-hmm.
were speaking with, local people, we came to know that women especially were more like, we also
Mm-hmm.
started taking this educational approach where we started talking to
Mm-hmm.
farmers as in like, what about your next generations? Like, you also want
Okay.
them to keep doing something like this, or you want them
Mm-hmm.
to have a very proper kind of a fearless kind of a life where they have
Mm-hmm.
a good, reasonable amount of money and can also keep happening, keep going in the
True.
life in a
Mm-hmm.
proper way without any fear. So
Mm-hmm.
that's where we introduced them to sanitary pads, and
Mm-hmm.
then they started showing interest. And for example, the farmers can be connected as suppliers of fiber, like
Okay.
this
The raw
kind of
material.
yeah, this kind
Okay.
of fiber. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is not something illegal that they're involved
Mm-hmm.
into. And then, this fiber can be converted into fabric, and then this fabric
Okay.
can be sent back to women, and they can stitch
Okay.
and, sew it for us, and they can
Okay.
send it back. So this
Mm-hmm.
creates supply chain kind of a model or a business
Mm-hmm.
model, which
Mm-hmm.
also integrates farmers as well as women artisans into it, and
Mm-hmm.
also provides a respectful way to make money for people where they
Mm-hmm.
don't need to be afraid of getting into
True.
jail for doing something related to
Mm-hmm.
hemp or cannabis. So that
Okay.
was one of the things. Now, when it comes to the funding aspects of it, so
Mm-hmm.
like, as you mentioned in the beginning, like I'm a writer, and my co-founder Sonam, she's also a dancer. So we are like, artists in different domains as well. So
Okay.
I mean, I also make some money with my writing.
Mm-hmm.
I write technical things. I write digital marketing based
Mm-hmm.
assignments, and also like ghost writing I do. And Sonam teaches
Okay.
dance classes online to, mostly
Okay.
NRI students. So
Mm-hmm.
that is how we make some money. We keep ourselves going, and
Mm-hmm.
whatever savings we have from there,
Mm-hmm.
we put it in Himalayan Hemp as an
Okay.
organization. And
Mm-hmm.
we also got into, government startup program as well. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we started applying in different grants. So
Okay.
two reasons were important for the grants. One was
Mm-hmm.
that money is of course one of the very,
Mm-hmm.
intrinsic requirement for running any startup. Second
Yes.
was we also kept getting this validation, like for
Mm-hmm.
example, whatever, like we got three national and three international awards for this product so far.
Okay.
So
Great.
it
Mm-hmm.
gave us a validation that, we are going in the right direction. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you win an award, or you win a government
Mm-hmm.
grant only and only when you're performing in the right direction, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's how we got this kind of a validation, like, okay, we are going in the right direction. So far with this
Mm-hmm.
product, we have six national and international awards, and three
Okay.
government grants so far.
Mm-hmm.
And the recent one being 50 lakh rupees grant for Direct
Okay.
Big Innovation Grant. So with this
Great.
Big
Mm-hmm.
Innovation Grant, we will be able to set up our own manufacturing unit.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it will have a very, we will have a proper supply chain, what you
Yes.
say, control, so that, we
Mm-hmm.
can match the customer deadlines. And now
Mm-hmm.
this project will go in a very right. So this is how we have been
Yeah,
moving.
that's amazing actually. And also I think the recognitions which you got for your idea would also, would be boosting the farmers. They would gain more interest, and that will also have impact on their lives, right, the family and everyone. So that's great, really great work, I must say, Hanish. And congrats on the grants and awards, right? So good work. And also coming to, as it's a community based model, so you're running a community based model. And we also, you started in 2018, and we know that we were hit by the global pandemic and still are continuing with the effects of the same, right? So how was your journey throughout the first and second waves? Like, could you just share about it, like where the impacts of it higher on your startup? Like, how was it affecting you in terms of the logistics perspective, and also mobilizing the farmers itself, like where where there's enough flow of cash, like they want the continuity, right? Because all are it's a community based model. So if you just could share some of
Yeah.
the journey. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes. So it had a mixed kind of an impact, but more
Mm-hmm.
on a positive side actually.
That's
Like
great.
first of
Mm-hmm.
all, yeah, first of all, if I tell you about the negative side, because it's always good to tell the bad news
Mm-hmm.
first, so that we can
Yeah.
wrap it up with the good news later on.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So the first thing which got affected was the grant. I mean,
Oh, okay.
first grant to us was allocated, like it was assigned to us in
Mm-hmm.
2019 only,
Okay.
2020 actually, beginning of it. But we
Mm-hmm.
actually received it in the its second tranche was received last 3-4 months back, like in the month of
Oh,
February. So
okay.
it got delayed by a
Delayed.
lot of
Mm-hmm.
margin. Yeah, yeah, due to COVID only.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, since it got delayed, so what happened was we started working in a different direction. Like we came up
Mm-hmm.
with our second product eventually. Like
Mm-hmm.
a sanitary pad was our first. What do you say? Um, Announced product, but
Okay. Mm-hmm.
but the second product that we announced, we actually launched it first, which was
Mm-hmm.
N95 hemp mask. It
Okay.
was and it still is India's only N95 certified hemp mask.
Mm-hmm.
And during that time, we had already trained women like this. The model is
Mm-hmm.
very simple. Like we used to travel before, we still
Mm-hmm.
travel, but now
Mm-hmm.
what we do is wherever we go, we find
Mm-hmm.
women who are looking for work, who have
Okay.
sewing machine at their homes. We
Mm-hmm.
just go and meet them, we train them, and that's it. Like we just use our travel in a very, what do you
Mm-hmm.
say, effective way now. And
Okay.
that time we already were in touch with a lot of women artisans, and we just trained them again for
Mm-hmm.
making N95 masks, and we
Mm-hmm.
just kept sending them raw material, and they kept making it.
Mm-hmm.
And in those times there were a lot of challenges. Like for example, the fabric that
Mm-hmm.
we had to purchase it from somebody, and that time everything was closed. So we had to
Okay.
take calls, like going for a higher,
Mm-hmm.
whenever it was open, we just used to get it. And that time
Okay.
also
Okay.
delivering the masks was also very hard. So
Mm-hmm.
actually, surprisingly, courier services were not working very properly that time.
Mm-hmm.
But India Post was, surprisingly working really good
Okay.
that time. I mean, it was delivering as courier services were delivering. So we started
Mm-hmm.
utilizing India Post for that new way, and that's how we
Okay.
started supplying the masks.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is how, in the first wave of pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
that's how we went with the mask, and we are still continuing with it. And
Mm-hmm.
we created it with in collaboration with two more companies, like Small Spark
Okay.
Solutions Technologies Private Limited and Avega Green
Mm-hmm.
Technologies. Both of them are based in Pune.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how we went in the first wave of pandemic. And
Okay.
the second wave was the hardest, of course,
Mm-hmm.
but that time also we kept going with the mask again.
Mm-hmm.
So we kept it going for first 1.5 years, and after
Mm-hmm.
that, when pandemic phase was kind of over, like when
Mm-hmm.
the colleges started opening again, when the
Yes.
grants and everything started opening again, so
Mm-hmm.
then automatically our focus came back to sanitary pads. We got
Mm-hmm.
colleges got back in touch with us, and they
Okay.
started releasing the grants. And then
Mm-hmm.
again, now our focus is back to sanitary pads, and we are
Mm-hmm.
launching them in the month of November.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
I mean, this is how our COVID
Yeah,
experience was in terms of.
that was actually nice because that gave room for another product, right? And how we utilized it, and that's actually really interesting to know and to use even a challenge as an a positive thing for your startup. So it's really good. And just to understand, right, the hemp based, so the fiber for mask, also the fiber base is from hemp, or it's infused. Just to understand.
No, it's a 100% hemp based.
Okay,
So you mean to say you are asking for the mask or you are asking for the fabric?
mask,
Sorry,
mask. Yeah,
no,
the
no, no.
mask.
Mask is the mask fabric that we used. It is a mixture of. It's a blend of hemp and cotton. So
Okay,
that's what we
okay.
have used because
Mm-hmm.
there is a reason for that. The reason
Mm-hmm.
being that if we use 100% hemp mask,
Mm-hmm.
its cost will be too high. So we have to also
Okay.
look into the financial capacity of the Indian customers that we were
Mm-hmm.
targeting.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, I mean, our approach was to cater to as many people as possible in that time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
right now, like for example, the mask is priced at 175 rupees, being an N95 mask. So that
Mm-hmm.
was one of the reasons for keeping it priced low. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why we used a blend of hemp cotton. But our
Mm-hmm.
sanitary pad is a 100% hemp based
Okay. Okay.
product.
Yeah, that's really cool, and thank you for sharing about your journey throughout COVID, and also like how you faced it, and how it motivated you for different pipeline of products during the phase also. And I can see that it's kind of quite it's kind of tricky to mobilize community that moment because of all the fears of the pandemic and everything, but still how you collectively engaged women into it, and really a great work. And also coming to you said about the sanitary pads, which is the basic, the value proposition which you initiated, the Himalayan hemp, right? So here in sanitary padsing, like where just to understand the hemp itself, like it has any positive, like healthy health impacts. It has some, or just to understand about it, if you can say few words on it.
Yeah. Yes. So I mean, if like the reason I will explain it properly with the reason for why we chose
Mm-hmm.
hemp in this. Like
Okay, yeah.
first of all, it is like because this question is also asked to us in a lot of pitches and by a lot of
Okay.
investors as well. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm very thorough with with this subject now. So
Okay.
first reason, yeah. So I mean, congratulations to entrepreneurship for that. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So just a minute, I'm just facing a lag here. I hope you are hearing me correctly.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So first of all, like hemp is antibacterial in nature. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, and anti-inflammatory. Basically, when you use something like, for example, I'm
Mm-hmm.
wearing this T-shirt right now. You
Mm-hmm.
are wearing a kurta, and when we are wearing it, something made from hemp fiber. So
Mm-hmm.
what happens is, the sweat patches that we get under the armpits or
Mm-hmm.
things like that, we don't get it when we are wearing hemp-based clothing, because
Oh.
what happens
Mm-hmm.
it kills the these kinds of bacteria, which leads to the
Mm-hmm.
creation of these things. So
Okay.
it's
Mm-hmm.
antibacterial in nature,
Mm-hmm.
anti-inflammatory. So basically, you won't have rashes. Like
Mm-hmm.
for example, it is rash resistant in nature.
Mm-hmm.
Second is that the existing sanitary pads we use, like
Mm-hmm.
for example, you take a Whisper or Stay Free.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Its top layer, it is made
Mm-hmm.
from a non-woven fabric, and non-woven
Okay.
fabric has tiny fibers on the top of it. So what
Yes.
happens is
Mm-hmm.
when during menstrual period, when a woman
Mm-hmm.
uses it, these gets detached and they go and get deposited in the ovarian section. So what happens?
Oh, okay.
That
Mm-hmm.
leads to the ovarian cancer on a longer term, and due to
Mm-hmm.
that reason, that majority of the women are facing this kind of a hazard,
Mm-hmm.
including my mother. Like they need to get their ovaries removed at a very
Oh.
early stage. So
Mm-hmm.
that is one of the another reasons as well.
Mm-hmm.
So already these three reasons are there, like
Mm-hmm.
antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, so rashes don't happen. And
Mm-hmm.
third is the make of the product is in such a way that it doesn't have any such layers in it which are harmful for the body or for the
Mm-hmm.
ovarian system. And
Mm-hmm.
also, like the other sanitary pads also use cotton, which is sprayed by
Yes.
harmful pesticides and chemicals. So all
Mm-hmm.
of them are also a part of it already. And
True.
hemp
Mm-hmm.
doesn't require any pesticides or
Mm-hmm.
anything like that to grow. Another
Okay.
reason being, mostly cotton-based sanitary pads are also like cotton takes a lot of water to
Mm-hmm.
grow. So
Mm-hmm.
hemp doesn't require that much of the water. So it
Mm-hmm.
also reduces the requirement for using the
Mm-hmm.
water in the irrigation system as well.
Okay. Okay.
One last reason that I wanted to give was, like, say you can still say, then why not banana? Let's leave out cotton. Let's take banana. Or let's take
Mm-hmm.
bamboo. Like these kinds of sanitary pads are also there. But the
Mm-hmm.
thing is that hemp gives us a higher biomass, like per acre
Mm-hmm.
raw material that we
Okay.
get from
Mm-hmm.
hemp is 3-4 times more than what we get from bamboo or banana. And bamboo
Okay.
takes like 2-3 years to grow. Banana
Yes.
also takes
Mm-hmm.
some time to grow. It
Mm-hmm.
takes heavy maintenance as well. But
Mm-hmm.
hemp is like it's grow. You can grow it again in next 6 months. So every year you
Mm-hmm.
have two crops, and you have a
Okay.
higher biomass as well. So what happens
Mm-hmm.
is you can produce more. So these
Mm-hmm.
kinds of things are there which make a product successful, and
Yes.
that's
Mm-hmm.
why we have considered hemp as one of the
Yeah,
products.
that is
Hemp as one
great.
of the raw materials.
That's
Yeah.
nice because a lot of new information, like for me also, like a reduced carbon footprint as a whole, right? Compared to the
Yeah.
existing things in the market and everything, and also less space utility. So all
Yes.
are
Yes.
these are the very crisp and precise points for sustainable development or sustainable farming itself, if you say. So I think
Yes.
that.
Ca-
Mhm.
Carbon negativity. Actually, I forgot about this point. Actually, if I tell you, because I have
Okay.
actually estimated it, so I would
Oh,
like to tell it.
okay. Sure,
Like
sure.
since our product is reusable in nature, so what
Mm-hmm.
happens is it can go up to 60 washes. So if a
Okay.
woman buys our sanitary pad
It's
now, then
reusable.
she, yeah, it's a
Okay.
reusable one.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So reusable, why we wanted to come up with the reusable pad also,
Mm-hmm.
because I will tell you the amount of
Mm-hmm.
discard which is done in the hiding. Like
Yeah.
you
Mm-hmm.
still know that menstruation is a taboo subject. Still, it's a
Mm-hmm.
taboo subject.
Yeah.
Hemp
Mm-hmm.
is also a taboo subject as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So currently there are 67 crore women in India, maybe
Mm-hmm.
68 crore now, and out
Okay.
of them, 48 crore women are between the age range of 12 to 48 years, which means they are
Mm-hmm.
menstrually active age, within the
Yes.
menstrually active age range.
Mm-hmm.
So if they are using whisper and or stay free on a
Mm-hmm.
longer note, I mean disposable sanitary pad on a regular
Mm-hmm.
note, which is actually required on a very regular note. So
Yes.
we are
Mm-hmm.
ending up creating 7,200 tons of sanitary
Oh.
pad waste, which is going out into the nature
Mm-hmm.
basically. And
Yes.
since
Yeah.
this topic is not much talked about, there is
Mm-hmm.
not much, it's all like every pad is kind of discarded in hiding,
Mm-hmm.
even from the
True.
partner, even from the parents, everybody.
Yes. Yeah.
So this is something which is going somewhere and getting deposited, and
Mm-hmm.
we will face these repercussions on a longer run.
Mm-hmm.
So it is very important for us to shift
Mm-hmm.
to the reusability.
Mm-hmm.
But then we also did this market research where
Mm-hmm.
I spoke with the urban women, and
Mm-hmm.
they were not ready to use the reusable pad because of the
Mm-hmm.
lifestyle which they are going through. And it's
Okay.
not justified to also force this kind of a product on them as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we thought that the better strategy would be to start with the school girls, like
Mm-hmm.
girls when they hit the puberty. In that
Mm-hmm.
time only, if we tell them about the benefits of reusable sanitary pads and
Mm-hmm.
how disposable sanitary pads are harmful, like for health, for the
Mm-hmm.
environment, and
Mm-hmm.
then they can be really they can be really educated about it, and they will keep
Mm-hmm.
this learning with them for a long time, and that is
Mm-hmm.
what will keep them stick with the reusable pad. So
Yes.
rather than focusing on a 30-year-old woman who is already
Mm-hmm.
a user of disposable pad for
Mm-hmm.
15 years, we
Mm-hmm.
can focus on the new users, and
Okay.
that will actually be our long-term customers on a longer run.
Mm-hmm.
And this will be a better way to go with this kind of a product as well.
Mm-hmm.
So the impact is that for one sanitary pad,
Mm-hmm.
Himalayan Hemp sanitary pad, which is adopted, we
Mm-hmm.
discard 160 of the
Mm-hmm.
you know disposable sanitary pad.
Okay.
So the
Okay.
impact is 1:160.
Mm-hmm.
So for every
Okay.
6 million, every 60 lakh sanitary pads which are discarded,
Mm-hmm.
ours will only be 2.5 lakhs in front
Mm-hmm.
of those 60 lakh, and ours is completely compostable. So this was the final
Biodegradable.
USP
Mm-hmm.
of our product, that it is
Okay.
biodegradable in nature.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, this is how these are the benefits of using hemp.
Mhm. Yeah, that's really interesting, and thank you for the explanation you gave. And it would have been really, for the audience also to understand about your product, and also, adapt the same in their life, and because it's actually it's beneficial for the health of the women who are using, and also it benefits the producers, the farmers itself. So it's kind of, positive loop altogether, and also a positive impact every from the initial raw material till the customer, right? So really great
Yes.
work, and congrats to you and also your co-founder. Please convey our regards to her, and thank you for your time today, Hanish. And as a final takeaway, I'd like to ask from you like two or three takeaway points which you would say for the young entrepreneurs who wants to join or start their journey of entrepreneurship.
Yes. So my pieces of advice will be like, first of all, like for example, when somebody, most of the to
Mhm.
be entrepreneurs today in India
Mhm.
have come from a working environment. Like they were doing
Mhm.
a job kind of a thing, and
Yes.
then they started shifting to the startups.
Mhm.
So my piece of advice, first piece of advice will be to go in a field which is
Mhm.
related to what you were doing before.
Mhm.
Like, like for example, when say if I give an example about hemp, you can
Mhm.
get into hemp, but it should
Mhm.
be, if it is related to what you were doing before, then
Mhm.
it will keep it hassle free for you, and there
Mhm.
will be less challenges for you to do it.
Mhm.
Second is to go for those kinds of entrepreneurship model which solves problems for the marginalized, for the people who
Mhm.
are impacted by COVID, and who are
Mhm.
anyway, just even when COVID was not there, there were still people who were impacted.
Yes.
So it's
Yeah.
better to have those kinds of models in practice, or those kinds of
Mhm.
ways and methods which keep have a very good social
Mhm.
impact. And
Yes.
the third one will be to come up with those kinds of products which are eco-conscious in nature, or
Mhm. Mhm.
which have an upcycling kind of a model where
Yes. Mhm.
people are also involved with it in a
Mhm.
community kind of an integrated model. So
Mhm.
it just gives you a sense of fulfillment within
Mhm.
yourself, and
Mhm.
also you. I mean, you're creating something, because I think all the entrepreneurs who get into the game,
Mhm.
either it is for the money, or it is for doing something good for the world. And
Yes.
actually, if we, the true entrepreneur will be that who will
Mhm.
be able to integrate both of these things, and can
Yes.
move forward with this. So that
Yeah.
is the kind of advice that I would like to give.
Mhm.
And one last thing that I would like to actually sorry, tell you that is, we also made a house, like made
Mhm.
from hemp as well, which was made in
Okay.
Kulu.
Mhm.
So I would like to invite you or anybody who would like to
Mhm.
come and stay in this house. And this is
Okay.
the first hemp house in Himachal, and we
That's
are
great.
starting that also from September. So I
Mhm.
mean, that is also one of the things
Wow,
that
wow. Yeah, so a lot of ideas in, pipeline you have, and also house as a construction material also. Yeah, that's really interesting. And yeah, we
yes,
really look forward like in a like trip there to Himachal Pradesh. We'd like to visit there and see your community model too. And thank you, Hanish. It
yes,
was really good having this conversation with you, and you're doing really great work, and we hope it continues and impacts a lot of life. Thank you.
yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.